Alright, so we got the most tortured gods in all the anime. I'm seeing. Oh, okay. I know all of them. Oh, I don't know what promote is. Oh, we gonna be talking about Record of Ragnarok? I got a few comments to make on that shit, honestly. Yato is from Noragami.
Zerofuku from Record of Ragnarok is probably the most tragic.
Nah, bro, for real, it was kind of crazy. At the same time, you know, it kind of showed how humans be for real. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't surprised by the way they treated him after he kept absorbing all the bad things from them. And then it was revealed that it was all Beelzebub's fault. I was like, nah, this nigga needs to die, bro. I was dead ass like, yo, Beelzebub needs to die. Then we get Beelzebub's backstory. I was like, damn, I feel conflicted. I was like, damn, bruh, this nigga had it hard too. I was like, wait a minute, I can't even blame him no more. I was dead ass like, yo, what the fuck? This ain't even fair, bro. This is
good guy on this
I can't
entire
even
list.
feel
He
like-
started out as a pure-hearted god who just wanted to help people, and every single thing that happened to
But
him.
he went about it the wrong way, absorbing people, pain and all of that, and their darkness and their sicknesses and all of that. That was not the way to go, bro. Humans are fucking stupid creatures. They need to learn from their action. Therefore, you need to let them receive the consequences of what they fucking do. If you don't, they're never gonna learn.
That was a punishment for caring too much. Originally, Zerofuku was the god of fortune. He appeared in ancient Asia as a childlike deity with a gentle personality. When he saw humans suffering, he couldn't just stand by. So he started absorbing their misfortune directly into his own body. The first person he helped was a sick boy in a poor village. He cured the boy's illness by pulling the misfortune out of him and taking it on himself. He kept doing this for years.
And the problem is it stays inside of him. That's the problem.
Person after person, he absorbed all the suffering he could find. Each time he did it, his body and mind deteriorated further. The pain was constant and unbearable.
And they never
but he
learned.
kept going because he believed that as long as the people he helped were happy, it was worth it. While Zerofuku was still a child, a god named Beelzebub secretly planted something called the.
When he did that, I was genuinely like, this nigga needs to die, bro. I was like, this nigga needs to die, nigga. Oh my god. Then they showed his backstory and I was like, you know what? I don't even know what to feel down here, bro.
Seed of Hadron on his head while he was sleeping. Hadron was a fallen demon, and the seed contained his remains.
Like, I don't know how to feel no more.
On Zerofuku's head. This parasite was sitting inside him the entire time, ticking like a bomb, and Zerofuku had no idea. But even without Hadron's influence, things fell apart on their own. The humans Zerofuku saved didn't become happy. Bruh. Without any suffering in their lives, they fell into depravity and hedonism. They became spiritually.
That's what I'm saying. He went about it the wrong way, bro. Humans need to learn from their action. They need to receive the consequences of their action to learn that from them. Taking their misfortune made it that none of them had any sort of consequences to their actions. And that's why he went about it the wrong way. It only led them into more depravity. And then he saw Buddha, and Buddha led them the right way, let's be honest. By being the righteous person, they felt shame upon seeing the way that they lived compared to him. You know, it's
empty, actually worse off than they were before he helped them. Removing their pain
he
didn't
was a
fix
young
anything.
god. He didn't know what to do.
The worst moment came when Zerofuku returned to the very first village and found the boy he had originally saved, now a grown man. The man didn't recognize him. He spat on Zerofuku and told him to get lost. The god who had literally taken this man's sickness into his own body was treated like he was nothing. And then Zerofuku saw Buddha. Buddha was walking with poor, thin, clearly suffering people, and they were genuinely happy. Buddha hadn't removed their misfortune at all. He had taught them to find happiness within themselves.
What they have,
his philosophy was simple. Happiness isn't something you can give to other people. It's something you got to attain yourself. A human had accomplished what a god could not. That broke Zerofuku completely. Crushed.
Yeah, but it was because he was a young god, bro. If it wasn't for that, he could have learned from this, but he broke because he saw Buddha and the fact that the first person he treated rejected him, you know. As he basically said, I don't know who you are, nigga. Get the fuck away from me, dirty ass nigga. I'm just saying, right? So it kind of really hurt him. And he was a really young god. So he didn't He didn't know
By
how to
jealousy
handle
and
all these
self-loathing,
feelings.
he transformed from the god of fortune into the god of misfortune. He
misfortune,
vowed
yeah.
to destroy humanity as divine punishment for what they'd done to him. But when the moment came to actually kill, when he stood
wasn't
over a
able
mother and
to do
child,
it.
the last shred of his goodness stopped him. Instead
Yeah.
of killing them, his soul split into 7 parts, becoming the 7 lucky gods: Bishamonten, Ebisu,
No, yeah, well,
Benzaiten, Fukurokuju, Daikokuten, Hote, and Jurgen.
Then
Each
they
one
all
took a piece of his
fused
sin
back,
and
bruh.
went their separate ways. During round 6 of Ragnarok, the 7 lucky gods refused back into Zerofuku to fight Buddha.
Exactly.
But during the fight, Buddha actually got through to him. He helped Zerofuku
He saved
find
him.
peace. Zerofuku returned to his original
He
kind,
saved him.
childlike form.
but because of the seed of Hajun that was planted onto him by Beelzebub, he turned into Ajin, and then he died, nigga. He helped Buddha win, but he died. I was like, yo, fuck. I was like, no, because Zerofuku just really had it. He was broken by humans, bro. Let's be honest. He was broken by his innocence and by humanity, the true nature of humanity. Let's be honest. Buddha managed to save him, but because of Beelzebub, he ended up dying, which is why I was like, Beelzebub needs to fucking die. Then I saw Beelzebub's story. I was like, shit, man. I was there. It's like, fuck. What do we do here, man? I don't know how to feel about this one.
For one brief moment, he was saved. Then Hajun's seed activated. The horns
Yup.
that had been sitting on his head since childhood burrowed into his mouth and chest, spawning 2 massive dragons that consumed him from the inside. Zerofuku screamed in agony, crying out to Buddha as
That
Hajun
shit
devoured
was
his body
really
and used it
painful
to
to
resurrect
read, bro. I'm
himself.
not even gonna
Beelzebub
lie.
had planned this from the very beginning. But Zerofuku's soul survived inside Hajun. When Buddha
Yep.
was on the verge of losing the fight, Zerofuku's soul reached out and grabbed Buddha's hand. He performed a Volander, a soul fusion, with Buddha, creating the
Yup.
great Nirvana sword called Zero. Together, they
Yeah,
defeated
that was
Hajun.
such a
After
beautiful
Hajun
moment,
was
bro.
destroyed,
I'm not even gonna lie.
Zerofuku's soul appeared one last time alongside the 7 lucky gods. He
This
gave
shit
Buddha a thumbs
pissed
up,
me off.
smiled, and then faded from existence permanently. His
This
soul
shit
was completely
pissed me
erased. He
off
didn't get
so
to live. He
much.
didn't get a second chance. He got one smile and then
Fuck,
he was
man.
gone. So from start to
Shit
finish,
pissed me off.
Zerofuku loved humanity enough to destroy his own body, absorbing their pain. And in return, his body rotted.
They did
The
not deserve this. They did not deserve this. I'm telling you, he was just too innocent, bro. He was too innocent. He went about it the wrong way.
people he saved forgot him. They spat on him. A human succeeded where he failed. A demon ate him alive from the inside. And then he was erased from
This
existence.
nigga, bro,
All of it
this
for
shit
trying to help.
pissed me
Rio
off. One of the problems that now that's not about Zero Fuku. This is about Record of Ragnarok, right? One of the biggest problem I have within this series is that the human side has so much potential of fighters, but because the author is Japanese, he went and chose mostly Japanese characters. Cause I'm like, the way like, don't get me wrong, the roster is pretty good, but he messed up, bro. There was so much potential in the human roster, but he messed up so bad because he's Japanese, so he would want to put more Japanese characters. But like, bro, come on, man. I can understand Sasaki Kojiro. I can understand that. Musashi was the greatest swordsman to ever exist in history, right? The man who defeated 72 other niggas by himself as a regular nigga with 2 swords. You can put him there. He deserves there. Sasaki Kojiro was his greatest rival. I'll accept it, yo. I'll accept it. But then he messed up when he put it right in. I was like, bruh. Then Okita Soji, I guess he is considered in the talks of the greatest Japanese swordsman. So I guess. And then Sakata Kintoki, I was like, bro, come on, man. You had so much fucking potential. You could go Alexander the Great, Gilgamesh. That's like one of the easiest to put for humanity. You could put Julius Caesar. Come on, man. That's like one of the basics. You could put Solomon, the first king, bro. The first king. The nigga, I don't know what the legend of Solomon, but he was the king, the first king, and he had like 72 demons under him. Why are we not putting niggas like this inside of this? You can even go with Cleopatra, bro. Come on, man. There was so much potential for the human roster. Mansa Musa, the richest nigga ever. And he was black. Like, we could have had a black character, deadass, and would have been strong as shit, my nigga. He was called the king of gold for. Come on, man. I swear, bro. Napoleon Bonaparte. Come on, there was so much potential for the human roster for humanity, but because the author is Japanese, he went with mostly Japanese characters, bro. There's so much wasted potential in the humanity roster. I'm just saying though. That's my 2 piece on it. Cause I love Record of Ragnarok. Deadass, I love it. But there is so much wasted potential in the humanity roster. It pisses me off. Deadass.
Asuka from Devilman Crybaby seems like a cold, calculating human for most.
Nah, he's just gay, bro. No, he just gay. He loved this nigga, but he killed him. So
to the series.
Crashed
but
out.
by the end, you find out he's actually Satan, a fallen
Yeah.
angel who was cast out of heaven for defying God, and his punishment is one of the cruelest in all of anime. Before being reborn as a human,
What do you
Satan
mean?
wandered the universe after his exile and eventually found prehistoric Earth. Back then, the planet was inhabited by demons.
It's been a little
Satan
bit,
took
yeah.
a liking to them because of their simple, straightforward nature, and he ruled over them. But God noticed Satan building up a demon army and wiped out all physical life on Earth with a massive meteor shower. The demons' bodies were destroyed, but their souls survived. After that, Satan was reincarnated as Ryo Asuka, a human child found in the Amazon.
Wait, this
All
nigga
of
been
his
there for
memories of
that
Satan
long?
were sealed
I don't
away. He had no
remember
idea-
that much, bro, of it. I mostly remember the end, some of the parts of the beginning, like when he goes into the club and he becomes a devilman. I remember a little bit of the middle when his girl gets killed and all that, and I remember the end when he kills Akira and he realizes he loves him, and then the army of Angel and God's army pull up on him. That's what I remember. At this point, I do not remember that
idea who
shit.
he really was. But even without those memories, his subconscious kept pushing him toward one goal, the destruction of humanity. The thing is,
Makes
Ryo
sense.
genuinely cared about one person, Akira Fudo. who
Yup, he was in love with him. He didn't just care about him. He definitely loved him, bro.
specifically engineered Akira's merger with the demon Amon so that
So
Akira
that-
would be strong enough to survive in the world
yup.
Satan was planning to create. He wanted to
Exactly.
wipe out humanity but save the one human he loved. That was the whole plan. To
Yup.
trigger the apocalypse, Ryo broadcast footage to the world showing that anyone acting strangely could be a demon in disguise. That was
And
all
that
it
led
took.
humanity to
fell
kill
into mass
each other.
hysteria, paranoia, witch hunts, and eventually nuclear war. People turned on each other while demons fed on the chaos. Ryo watched it all happen and pushed it forward without hesitation. In the final battle, Akira's army of devilmen fought against Satan's demon
They got
forces.
whooped.
Satan won. He killed Akira himself, cutting him in half along with the moon in a single attack. And then comes the scene that defines the entire series. After the battle, Satan sits beside Akira's body on a
he
cliff
truly
overlooking the ruined
realizes-
earth. He starts talking to Akira, reminiscing about their time together as kids. He's calm, he's reflective, and then it hits him. Akira is already
Akira's
dead. He's been
dead, bro.
talking
He's
to a
not here
corpse.
no
The
more.
moment he realizes this, he breaks down completely.
Yup,
At the very start of the series, Ryo says, "I believe that love did not exist, and therefore there was no sadness." By the
Until
end, he
met
learns he
Akira.
was wrong about
at
both.
The end,
he loved
that's
Akira.
only at the end that he realized it, because he was in love with Akira. He
And now
only
he finally
realized
understands
that.
what sadness is. But that understanding only arrives at the exact moment Akira is gone. After the credits,
dead, bro.
God sends another wave of meteors to destroy the Earth. The
Meteors?
world
Didn't he
resets,
send his
a
army?
new moon forms. Everything starts over. In the broader Devilman manga continuity by Go Nagai,
I remember sending him like angels pulling up and shit. Am I bugging?
this is confirmed to be an eternal time loop. God's punishment for Satan. Every cycle, Satan
wow.
is reborn, falls in love with a human, destroys that human, and then the Earth is reset.
wow,
He never gets to
damn.
keep the lesson. He never remembers. He never
That's-
escapes.
oh,
the Soul
wow.
King from Bleach is
That's
one.
a bit. Come on, man. After a few times, like, come on, man. He understood it. Like, come on. The Soul King. What did he was he tortured? Not really. He got killed by his son. That's about
One
it.
of the most powerful beings in all of anime, and also one of the most disrespected. His real name is
Yup, disrespected. Yeah, I guess for a god, disrespect is a kind of torture. Yeah.
Adnaeus. That name comes from the Hebrew word Adonai, meaning Lord, which mirrors how his son Ewok's name is based on YHWH. So father and son are both named after god-level titles, and that's not a coincidence. Adnaeus is over 1 million years old. He existed
Yeah,
back when the entire universe was one single realm, a
Exactly,
chaotic
bro.
primordial world overrun by hollows. He was the one who fought back against that darkness. And then he did something no one else could do. He split that single world into 3 separate realms: Soul Society, the Human World, and Hueco Mundo. He literally created the cycle of life and death. His son Ihuach watched him do this and wept. But after separating the worlds, his body was torn apart. His right arm became the entity known as Mimihagi. His left arm became Pernita Parnquias. His heart became Gerard Valkyrie.
Name, bro. What? These names were complicated, bro. I do not remember all these
pieces all developed their own identities and went on to live as...
Because that was just a big hand. Like this one, the one in the coat, that was just a big hand. I don't even remember which one is this. But I think this one was the one that was a giant hand. This one was the guy that Kenpachi had to go Bankai to beat. I do not remember this one, bro. Mimihagi. Alright. Because Mimi means right? Mimi Hagi. Mimi means right. Like if you say Mimi no Te, you're saying right hand. I think
what was left of him, a torso with no limbs, was sealed inside a crystal with restraints locking down his power. Ichibei Hyosube was present when this happened.
That is not Ichibei Hyosube, bro. That's Ichigo, bro. Ichibei is the one with the large beard and the brush, bro.
There's a key difference between the novel and the anime here. The novel Can't Fear Your Own World says the 5 noble ancestors betrayed him and forcibly sealed him, then used his power to maintain the new world order. The anime version shows him separating the worlds on his own, more willingly, and then being dismembered afterward. Both versions end at the same place, though. He's trapped, powerless, and used as a tool. Despite being called the ruler of Soul Society, the Soul King really is actually a prisoner. Bro. Most Shinigami have never even seen him. He never speaks. He never moves. He shows no emotion.
He was just stuck in there, bro, until Yuwa came and took control. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Aizen did not like it because he was basically not really a god. He just stuck there, prison forever.
Straight up calls him that thing. His only purpose is to serve as the linchpin holding the 3 worlds together. Without him, everything collapses. He's basically a cosmic battery plugged into reality. And the worst part is that he had clairvoyance. His eyes could see everything happening across all 3 worlds. He also had precognition, meaning he could see the future. So he likely foresaw the persecution of the Quincy, the entire 1,000-year blood war, and even his own death, possibly 1,000 years before any of it happened.
If he was omniscient, I think it's omniscient because omnipotent means something else. Omniscient will mean all-knowing. I think. I could be wrong. Then he obviously knew that this was just like the fate of things, the order of things that were going to happen. As a god, he wouldn't go against the order of things. At least that's how I see it. That's how I see it. It wouldn't be very godlike to manipulate and go against the order of things for his own benefit. A god needs to be impartial. I feel like that.
All of it coming and could do absolutely nothing about it. When Yihuach finally came to kill him, the Soul King didn't resist. He made no attempt to stop it. Given his ability to see the future, it's very possible he had already accepted what was going to happen. Yihuach himself referred to his father's imprisonment as endless humiliation. After Yihuach absorbed him, the Soul King's power erupted in the form of shadow creatures that attacked the Seirite. In universe, it's suggested that this was the Soul King's unconscious resentment toward the Shinigami who sealed him away. Even in death, that buried anger came out.
Prometheus I don't remember that though. I don't remember them saying that.
From the Record of Ragnarok spin-off manga.
Oh, that's from he did not look like this. That's from the spin-off because there's a spin-off series where there's a qualification for the last god to choose the last god that participate. And this one, the guy was inside of it.
Is a titan who made a choice that cost him 30,000
years. And he got beat by Wukong. That's Wukong, by the way. This is a version of Wukong.
Years of suffering.
This is the Record of Ragnarok version of Wukong.
He could have stopped it whenever he wanted. During the Titanomachy, the war between the gods and the titans, Prometheus sided with Zeus against Kronos. He fought on the winning side. But after the war ended, he gave fire to humanity. And Zeus did not let that slide. As punishment, Prometheus was crucified at the summit of the Caucasus Mountains and bound in chains. The punishment was carried out by Bia, the goddess of violence, and overseen by her brother Kratos, the god of power. Both of them served as Zeus's enforcers. But the torture didn't stop at just being chained up. The titans who had been imprisoned after Kronos' defeat were brought to the Caucasus to watch Prometheus get beaten as entertainment. It was set up like a gladiator cage match. Bia would dropkick him, beat him down, and electrocute him by slamming him into the chain link cage.
All of that because the nigga gave fire to humanity. I kind of felt like that was too much, bro. I was like, yo, Zeus, come on now. You bugging. All he did was help humans a little bit. Because he genuinely did love humans. Prometheus loved humans. humans. That's what gave humans fire to humans. I can understand that it ended up leading to firearms, wars, violence, and all of that. Like that tripled, but it still helped humanity develop. I can't understand why he's being punished, but 30,000, he's a god. 30,000 years might be like 30 minutes, 30 might be 3 years for him. I don't know.
Titans mocked him and said he deserved every bit of it. The chains binding Prometheus are called Acantha. They're a divine weapon, and Prometheus himself asked Zeus for them as part of his punishment. The Acantha have a specific ability. Anyone caught in them feels their pain multiplied hundreds of times over. So every hit Dia landed, every shock from the cage, every impact, all of it was amplified to an almost unimaginable degree. And Prometheus endured that for 30,000 years straight. He never fought back. He never reacted to a single attack. The reason he didn't resist wasn't because he couldn't. He later reveals that he could have removed the Acantha at any point. He had the ability to free himself the entire time. He stayed because he believed he deserved the punishment. He carried guilt over what humanity's arrogance had caused, and he accepted the torture as something.
Yup. He loved humanity, but when he saw what they did with the fire that he learned, he truly believed that he deserved the punishment. Which I don't think he did. It's not his fault if humans are fucking stupid. You know what I'm saying? It's really not his fault. But he took it upon himself to be punished. And then he met what's his name? Well, the nigga with that got killed by Jack the Ripper. Hercules. He met Hercules, and then he was like, you know what? I kind of want to get out of here.
He'd earned. Everything changed when Alcides showed up, who would later become the god.
That's not Alcides, that's Hercules, bro.
Heracles visited the Caucasus during his 12 labors. When he saw what was happening, he called the entire facility unjust and told Prometheus that when he became a god, he would change things. That was the moment Prometheus decided to stop enduring. Prometheus wrapped Bia in his own Acantha chains. For the first time, she felt the 100-fold pain amplification herself. She couldn't believe he had withstood that level of agony for thousands of years. And then Prometheus killed her with a single headbutt, crushing her skull and sending her straight to Niflheim. One hit. Bro. After 30,000 years of not fighting back, he ended his torture instantly. In the main tournament of the spin-off, Prometheus fights Sun Wukong in the round of 16.
He kind of clean though. He kind of clean, and he beat his ass too, bro. It wasn't even a fair fight. Like Prometheus was strong, but Wukong was. He was way stronger.
The Acantha offensively, wrapping the chains around his opponents. During the fight, Sun Wukong lands a devastating attack that knocks Prometheus unconscious. But even then, Prometheus refuses to fall. He stays standing while completely knocked out. Heracles is the one who catches his body. So Prometheus wasn't weak. He was never weak. He was a titan who could have broken free at any moment across 30,000 years of amplified torture.
Because he wanted to side with humans. He did not want to. I just remember he wanted to side with humans. He wanted to stop Ragnarok. He did not want to fight for the gods. He was kind of like Buddha before Buddha did his thing with at the tournament. He wanted to fight, not to fight on humanity's side, but he wanted to stop the Ragnarok.
He just chose not to, until someone gave him a reason to believe that fighting back actually mattered. Yato from Noragami might look like a goofy
I did not finish Noragami, you know. I did not finish it, so I don't know his origin story, but I do remember
God who does odd jobs for 5 yen coins, but his actual backstory is one of the darkest in anime. He was born to be a killer, raised by the person who made him, and trapped in a cycle of abuse he couldn't walk away from without literally ceasing to exist. Yato's real name is Yaboku. The name Yato actually came from a Shinki named Sakura who misread the kanji of his name. He kept that misreading on purpose because he wanted to separate himself from who he used to be. That detail matters a lot once you know what his past looks like. Most gods in Noragami are born from the wishes and prayers of humans. Yato wasn't. He was created by a human known as Father, a sorcerer who has survived for centuries by possessing different human bodies. Father's wish was to kill every god in existence. That hatred came from losing a woman he loved, who was implied to have been killed by divine forces. So Yato wasn't born from hope or faith. He was born from one man's desire for revenge against the heavens. Basically. Father raised Yato, but it wasn't out of love. It was manipulation from the start. He used Yato as a personal assassin
to fucking kill all the gods. Now I understand why he was going off. Because, you know, there was, like, during season 1 and season 2, we had some glimpses of him in the past where he would fight gods. and a lot of gods do not like him. And now I understand, bruh.
Ordering him to cull humans, collect ears from victims as trophies, and slaughter other gods and their shinki. Yato obeyed all of it
Yep.
because father was the only family he
Yeah,
had.
he was
didn't
his
know
dad.
anything else. Working alongside
That
him was
makes
Nora,
sense.
also called the Stray, a shinki who served multiple masters. She and father kept Yato under their control together. Then something
Wow.
changed. A shinki named Sakura came into Yato's life and showed him that humans weren't just targets. She taught him the difference between good and evil. She dreamed of shrines and inspired
Oh,
Yato to want
wow.
one of his own. For the first time, he started to think he could be something other than a god of
So
calamity.
that's
Father
us.
couldn't let that happen.
But she
he
died.
deliberately had Nora reveal Sakura's past to her, specifically how she died as a human. In Noragami's world, that's the one thing a Shinki must never learn. Knowing the truth of their death turns a Shinki into an Ayakashi, a corrupted phantom.
What?
Sakura transformed, and Yato was forced to kill her himself, using Nora as his weapon. Father planned the whole thing to break Yato's spirit and drag him back into obedience. It worked.
I
After that,
see.
Father continued to gaslight Yato for years. Whenever Yato expressed his
Damn,
dream
that's
of becoming a
crazy.
god of fortune, Father mocked him and told him a god of calamity could never change. He kept Yato convinced that his only purpose was destruction. In Noragami,
Wow.
gods who are forgotten by humans stop existing. Yato has almost no followers. He has no shrine. He's so
But he
desperate to
wasn't-
be
he's
remembered
not-
that he scrawls his phone number on bathroom walls and public spaces, offering to do any job for
But would he disappear? He wasn't born from wishes like the other gods were. He was born created by a human. You could kind of think of him as a Shikigami. If you know, like, Onmyojis, they create Shikigamis, blah, blah, blah. It's a bit of complicated stuff. But you could kind of think of him as a Shikigami more than an actual god. So would he disappear if he didn't have any followers? He technically doesn't need
just
any.
5 yen. He lives with a constant fear of being forgotten, which for him means death. The cruel twist is that Father
Does
is
it,
the
though?
only human who consistently remembers Yato. That means the person who abuses him is
He's still alive. I mean, he is body jumping, so I guess he is alive. Okay.
also the
I see.
person keeping him alive.
But if he
Yato
kills
can't
him-
fully cut ties with Father without risking his own erasure. His abuser
Yeah.
is his lifeline. On top of all that, Yato's current Shinki Yukine causes him direct physical pain whenever Yukine sins or suffers emotionally. It shows up as blight on Yato's body. So he's not just carrying his own trauma, he's absorbing
carrying
everyone
also-
else's too. The manga
Wow.
does give Yato an ending though. After 27 volumes, he finally confronts Father and defeats him. Father dies abandoned by everyone. Even Yato and Nora stop caring about him. Yato takes on the name Amagiri no Mikoto and finally gets his own
Wait,
shrine.
I've heard of that name. I've heard of that name in the Shinto mythology. I've heard of that name. I don't
thing he's
remember
wanted
what
since
it
Sakura
was.
first put that dream in his head. If you like this video,
I don't
turn
remember what it was. What was that god? But I do remember hearing that name from Shinto mythology because I've always been kind of interested in all of that, Greek mythology and all of that. But I've heard of that name. I don't remember exactly what the god of what it was, but I remember that it is an actual god in Shinto mythology. I don't remember though. I would need to make some research. It kind of slipped my mind, honestly.